Hi YouTubers, resellers, and thrifters. My name is Carrie and my channel here on YouTube is Be Carried Away. I'm a sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time reseller on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, where my stores are also named Be Carried Away. So if you're new here, please think about subscribing if you like reseller content, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I know it's been a while since I have uploaded a new video. As I've stated in several videos, we really slow things down in the summer intentionally. We have a bit of an unusual lifestyle in terms of we work really hard sometimes of the year, and then other times of the year we take breaks. So I'm coming back off of my summer slowdown, just about to get into the fourth quarter here, with fall coming in just a few days, and I'm excited to be back and to be making videos again. So these are definitely a bolo. These are little miniatures, so as you can see, it kind of fits right in the palm of my hand. These are not the larger ones, and I'll probably sell them as a lot. Now, interestingly, these do have the sticker on them still, so that's kind of cool. It'll show you that it's from a company called Delta and made in Japan. If you see these and they're vintage, absolutely pick them up. And then this is a little felt, actually it's flocked, so this material, when it's plastic covered with a little bit of that faux velveteen, is called flocked. And vintage Christmas, always a pickup. This one, again, it's marked Japan on the bottom, so anything marked, I don't know if I have it upside down or not, anything marked Japan, definitely old, definitely vintage. So a couple of little mini Christmas items to start. We'll go a little bigger now. This I got at a garage sale in that same area. We were just driving around where we camp, and we saw a garage sale, and I don't necessarily plan to go to a lot of garage sales when I'm up there, but when you drive by one, you know, you got to stop. So this is a really cool atomic mod, as you can see, clock, and this is a wind-up clock. So it doesn't have a key, it has a wind-up actually on it. It does open. The man who sold it to me showed me, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it on camera here, but this does flip open and you can wind it from inside. So the brand is Rocks Hall. So I did comp this. I think this will probably go for between $50 and $75. It's not one of the more elaborate ones that I've seen, but these are super popular. Mid-century modern, atomic, mod would be all words that I would use. And this is a well-known brand, so we'll put the brand name in there as well. So atomic mod, mid-century modern, always a pickup. I paid $10 for that at a garage sale. Next, from my little thrift store in the Thousand Islands of New York State, I picked up some dishes, a set of 9 pieces, and what I have are 4 of the dinner plates, right? I have 4 of these little chili bowls, soup bowls with the kind of little handles on them, and I have 1 of the round platters. Platters always go really well comparatively to others, so this is much bigger than the dinner plate, as you can see. And I did comp these. I would not pick up something like these without comping them because they're harder to ship, and there's lots of dishes out there on the internet, so I don't pick up items like this without comping it directly in the store. I want to try to get this. So this is organdy. This is Vernon ware, made in California, and the pattern is called organdy. And I did comp these. These unique pieces do sell. So some of the sets of 4 dishes have sold about 20 bucks or so, just these alone. Probably lock these together and ask in the neighborhood of $30 to $40. And I paid just $3 for the whole set. So between the comping and the low price, I did pick those up. Next, from that same thrift store, a set of 4 mugs. Now, I don't always pick up mugs. I definitely don't always pick up single mugs, but these are super cool and they're marked. So again, I was able to comp them using the name of the designer as well as the, I used Google Lens to pick them up. So this is Taylor and NG, I think it's pronounced Ning, Taylor and Ying. And these are the moose mugs, a set of 4. I'm expecting, I think I paid 49 cents each for these, and I'm expecting to get about $25 or so for the 4 of them, which is a good price for the buyer. I've seen them going higher for just, 1 or 2. And in the mug category, another unique mug. Again, I don't always pick up single mugs. They don't always go well, but this is pretty unique, and then it's from a defunct amusement park that used to exist in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and it's got the panda bear on it. This is called Fantasyland. Now, in comping this and researching this, I found that there is a market for collectors. There's a Facebook group that collects items, from their childhood. Fantasyland went out of business. It was a privately owned small amusement park type venture, and they went out of business in 1980. So this is definitely vintage, and there is a market for collectors of this item, which is why I picked this up. Again, 50 cents. Next are 2 riding helmets, one in black and one in blue velvet. Now, the story behind these riding helmets sell pretty well, not absolutely fantastic, but, if you're taking riding lessons, eBay is a great place. Mercari is a great place to find helmets, which are usually quite expensive new. Look at how these were marked. $29.99 for the blue one and $39.99 for the black one. So you would think that, wow, Carrie must really think these are going to go high. I don't. I think that's about what they're going to go for. So what happened with these? These were priced just way out of the market at the thrift store. I looked at them the first day they were put in there, and when I saw that price, I knew I was going to keep my eye on these. These I did pick up at my local Salvation Army. I waited till 99-cent day, and about 3 weeks after these were put out, nobody picked them up at that expensive price, and they actually went for 99 cents each. So for 99 cents, these riding helmets that are sized and they're have the all the information that you need in there to list them. Now it's a good deal. Definitely would not have been a good deal the way that they were marked up like that. Next, something I rarely pick up, but again, I say this because you've got to be open to looking at unique items, things you don't always look at. If you come across something special, it might be worth picking up. So this was at my local thrift store, and this is definitely an antique baby doll. It has the sleepy eyes, so the eyes close when he lays back. It's articulated joints, the joints move, there's old rubber bands in there. This is called composite, so if you're not a doll person, which I am not, this is something you would want to know in terms of listing it. The material, you can kind of hear this material that it's made out of. It's hard, it's a composition material, so it's a composite doll, and that's really important when you're listing these. I got this I paid a little bit up for this. I got this for $6.99, and it came with clothes. I took it off to show you the actual doll. It comes with some really old vintage looking cloth clothes, a little hat, so I will sell that all together. I'm thinking maybe $40 or so for this doll. Based on comps, it might go higher. And I think, I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna auction this or if I'm going to sell it outright, but it's in really, really good condition compared to some that I've seen. A lot of times, their faces get cracked and they still sell because these are, 30s, 40s, 50s dolls. I think 40s and earlier. And he was just in such beautiful condition that's why I decided to pick this up at that price. So we'll see how I do with that. Next are I guess this qualifies as clothing. I'm putting it in the hard goods, but a fun pair of vintage stockings or pantyhose. If you're not picking these up, I would suggest you look at them. If you find this old packaging like this, new in package, definitely pick up. Some people collect them just for the artwork on the packaging, as well as to wear. But these are by Beauty Mist, clearly probably 60s vintage. They were only 50 cents. I'll probably list these for maybe $20 or so, low 20s. I recently saw a What Sold video from a channel that I love to watch called Taylor and Teal, and I'll link that in my description box down below. And she just sold a pair of these for $24.99. The image on hers was slightly more racy. It was kind of a nude, but I thought with this angel, you know, feather sort of look. It was a really cool packaging, and I decided to take a chance on these for 50 cents. Yikes. Okay, next. This is something that you've probably seen in some of my sold videos, and this is a boxed, new in box crucifix, and this was only $1.99. I've sold 2 of these in the past. Both of them sold for about $35 to $39, and so I expect this one to go in the same category, same price range, and it does have the information on here as to where the company that it was made from. It's jewelry. I'm gonna have to link that up. It's jewelry something, Jewelry Cross maybe. I'll put that up in the image box because I can't remember the name of the company right off the top of my head, but it is something that I've sold before. Next, this is super heavy, and so it qualifies with my big. So a set of 3 cast iron pans. These they ranged. The smallest one was $1.99, $2.99, and then the larger one was $3.99. So cast iron is very popular. People love to get the old vintage cast iron, season it themselves, use it for camping, other types of, you know, home cooking. These are the skillets, and they're marked on the back. The SK stands for skillet. Made in the USA. It doesn't have the brand name on it, so I'm going to research that a little bit more. It's not one of the more well-known brands, but this is the number 5 skillet made in the USA. Got a little dust on those. There's a little bit of tape in there or something. So I'm gonna sell these as a set. Really, really heavy. So I think these will fit in either the medium or the large flat rate box, you know, really, really well reinforced. I'm gonna have to think about that, but that was kind of what was on my mind when I picked those up. But really good to say, really good pickup is cast iron. Next, just a couple simple cookbooks. I've shown cookbooks before. I picked them up if they're inexpensive enough. These were 49 cents each for these. I thought this one was super cute. The box lunch from the 80s. And it's, you know, ideas on making kids lunches for school. Gravy Goes Creative. Just all of these, you know, usually I'll lot these up. Chicken is king. And I love the spiral bound. These are a particularly popular style. So I'll lot these with something. Always pick them up and I kind of just set them to the side and lot them. Okay, next, great find that I'm super excited about. These were at the small thrift store that I go to where I go camping, and these were $10 a box. And I have 2 vintage Barbie cases, $10 a piece. And best of all, these were filled with Barbies. So I am not a Barbie expert. These might actually be, in, you know, 15, 20 years of reselling, these might be the first Barbies I've ever sold. But I got them at a great price, and I thought they'd be a lot of fun to go through and comp. So I did look at some of the comps. I've got a few that are, you know, $10, $15 here. And then I've got a couple that I think are really special based on what I've been looking at. So I'm going to link in the description down below a couple of the resources that I've been using to comp these and to figure out what I've got here. I believe that this is a Barbie number 6, and she has her original red bathing suit. She's got, no, her knees don't bend. Okay. But based on her hair, the eyebrow shape, the color of the eyes, the clothing, and especially the marks on her butt, which I'll show in photos, I believe that that's what I have. I'm not 100% sure yet, but if I do, that can go for some really good money, you know, upwards of $100 or $200 or $300. There's a couple listed for, like, one's listed for $585. I think that's someone shooting very, very high. I don't expect to get that much for it, but I'll definitely be in the red, in the profit on these. And then this one, same thing. This is one of the older ones. This is I think it's maybe a bubble head, but she's got a little bit of her clothing, her original clothing left, and, you know, totally worth comping for $10. So I'm having a lot of fun kind of going through those sites. Now, I love the research aspect of this. You know, a lot of people might just kind of lot these together. I think that's really one of the fun aspects for me of reselling, is finding out about things that I really know nothing about and going to the experts, getting all of that information. So there are a couple great sites that, you know, just kind of break down everything that you need to know about selling these. So, and then the cases themselves sell. So the cases themselves don't go for a lot, but you know, 20, 25, somewhere in that range. So definitely going to be in the profit on those 2 Barbie cases for $20. Next, another heavy big item, and this is a lot of silverware, and this is all fallen out. So I'm gonna reset this and make it look pretty before I take the photos. I paid $15 for these in the box. I do have the certificate of authenticity, and these are what are called double plate. I was able to, again, through research, I was able to figure out the pattern. I used replacements.com, which is a great site for dishes and flatware and all of those items. You can figure out the exact pattern, you know, based on the design, and as well as the manufacturer and the maker. So these are called Extra Plate. They're called Extra Plate, Original Rogers, William and Rogers Manufacturing Company. So well known. I'm thinking I might get about $75 or so for these. So maybe a $60 profit on my $15 investment, and, you know, plus shipping. Definitely. I don't do free shipping on really any of my items. Okay, another just simple little, you know, these are the kinds of things that I don't want to overload my space here in my house with lots and lots of this kind of stuff, but these were literally 10 cents each, and so they're worth pickup, and I did comp them, and these are made in West Germany. They were Salem and Weiden, and these are sought after, so it's worth comping. I don't just randomly pull, you know, mugs off the shelf based on necessarily only design, even though this is a really cool, you know, mid-century or even, you know, 60s, 70s design. But because I was able to find that company and comp these, I think I'm going to get, you know, in the $20 range or so, low 20s again, perhaps, and for, you know, a 20-cent investment. So it's worth saving these, and it's worth getting them off to a new home to, you know, have a whole new life. Okay, next, I guess these qualify as clothing that I'm putting in this lot. I think people even who don't source clothing would still look at these and maybe pick them up. So these are vintage mesh foam back trucker hats in really good condition. I paid 50 cents each for these at my Salvation Army on half price day. The hats were half price that day. This one just says Empire, and so I'm gonna look up this company. I'm thinking maybe, you know, $20 or so. I recently just sold a really cool vintage trucker style hat with St. Louis, Missouri, kind of a tourist looking hat. I sold that for $28. I have a few others that are just kind of sitting. So the ones with the more real specific you know, logos and on them, these are going to sit for quite a long time, but at a 50-cent investment, you know, it's worth letting it sit there to see if the right person comes along. So this one is from 1995, Finger Lakes Equipment Show. Now, if you find some of the big trucker companies, trucker hat companies that people love to go for, the ones with the 3 stripes on them, if you find one with 3 stripes on the side, absolutely pick it up. You go for huge money. And if you find one with a really well-known company like John Deere, like Caterpillar, like Carhartt, something like that, an old vintage trucker hat, absolutely pick those up. Next, I've got some Corning glass, a set of nesting mixing bowls. Now, these were all taped up, and I couldn't really look at them in the store, but they only went $5.99 for them. I thought that it was an entire set of 4, but there's actually 5 mixing bowls for $5.99, and there was a set of 3 that nest, and then a set of 2 that nest, and these don't nest together. They were kind of just, you know, stuck together and taped up. So these are not the older vintage ones. These are probably from about the 80s, but they definitely will sell, and for the $5.99 pickup, I'll definitely make a profit on those, and I might kind of list just these and maybe keep the other 2. I'm not sure how I'm going to actually do that yet, but absolutely something I would bring home for that price. Right. Okay, I'm gonna leave that in. Okay, next, a pair of twins. And I've been trying to get into plush a little bit. I've had a little bit of success with some plush, and I have some other things kind of just sitting, but let me sit back here and show you. Look at the size of these huge twins. Now, these are Boyd's Bears. Boyd's Bears are not something I would pick up based on comps all the time. You kind of really have to know what you're doing to pick them up, but these were only $2.50 each, $5 for the pair at my Salvation Army, and I was able to Google Lens them and find out which line they were from. And look at this cool, like, kind of tiger fur. They're in great condition. There's a pair of them. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna sell them as a pair. I'd like to kind of keep the twins together. These would be a lot of fun for somebody to decorate with at Christmas time, etc., etc. Dress them up. They probably, I think they came with just a bow originally, but I do have information on, they're the Boyd's Bear Bedhead, Headstrong something. Gotta look up here. It's been a while since I comped them in the store, but a pickup. Now, some of these really big ones, like 40 inches, went for hundreds of dollars. These are in between. These are like 30 inches or 28 inches tall, I believe, something like that. And so I think the two together, I might list them. I think I'm gonna go upwards of $75, $100. And I might auction these if I don't get better comps. And that's kind of what I do with something that I believe it's going to bring a good price, but if I don't have a really solid idea of what I should price them at, I will auction them just for a little while, see if I get anything, and go from there. Okay, a couple more great items. Hang on. Okay, if you see hand done like this yarn work photos, this is, I don't believe this is needlepoint, I believe this is crewel. It's a nice thick yarn on burlap in this gorgeous, gorgeous wooden frame, really large, and look at that price. I paid $3.99 for this, so this was absolutely no brainer. I'm gonna go really high with this. I'm not even sure yet. Definitely over $100. I might go upward of, you know, $125, $140, something like that, because this is just a really rare beautiful, beautiful piece. And I have sold others like this for around $70, much smaller, much less elaborate. This one is just stunning. Really hard not to keep this one. Okay, and next I've got a couple more great items. So here is a set of clear glass coffee or tea mugs. Clear. The clear glass is easy to go past. It's just, it can be overwhelming. It doesn't look like much. The colors don't jump out at you, but it's worth taking a look if you see something kind of unique and interesting like this kind of faceted cut, unique little shape, and sure enough, these are marked. So these are marked Vitro Sacks, Italy. Now, anything made in Italy, I'm gonna comp. I did comp this. Vitro Sacks is something that people do look for, and I picked all of these up for just $1.99 for 7 of these. So something I'm gonna pick up based on comps. I would not have known. I've never heard of Vitro Sacks, Italy. It's all about comping when you're in the store. Okay, saving the best for last. Now, what I do when I'm in the store is I load everything into, or a thrift store, I'll load everything into my cart, then I'll go over to the furniture, I'll find a comfy place to sit, and I'll sort things based on maybe, yes, no, and then I'll comp all of the maybes. If there's something that I'm not sure about, I do sit there and comp it. So while I was doing that the other day, I'm kind of sitting there in the furniture area, going through mostly clothing, and I look over and I see this lamp, and it looks a little unique to me. Not necessarily my style. Really important to think about everybody who's out on the internet. There are all kinds of styles, all kinds of people looking for different items, and I just thought it looked a little unusual. So I decided to go over and take a photo of it. It was big, I didn't even pick it up yet, and do a Google Lens. Boom, bolo, take a look at this, guys. I'm gonna put the actual photo of it up here because it's just kind of really too big to give you a true sense of what it looks like overall. But this is a wooden block on the bottom with these brass feet. Definitely needs to be cleaned up. Has the candlestick style vertical double, it's a double bulb with brass, and then this really cool wooden, not wood, black kind of lacquered almost shade. Now, I know that this is old just based on, you know, kind of looking at the brass and all of that, but you can always tell if you look at the plug whether it's true vintage or not. That's absolutely true vintage. So this is not a reproduction. So based on my Google image search, I found a pair of these basically similar. The only difference was the shades were round, and I believe this candlestick portion was a little shorter. $1,500 for the pair, and they are listed as Tommy Parzinger, which is a name you definitely want to know. I would Google that, look at some of the Tommy Parzinger pieces, all mid-century mod, 1950s, 1960s, 50s really, modern at the time, super highly collectible and worth a lot of money. So I have a lot of work to do on this Tommy Parzinger style. It's not marked Tommy Parzinger, so I've got a lot of work to do to figure this out, but it was marked $5. Let's see if I still, oh yeah, I have a picture of the price I'll put up here. It was marked $5.99. Definitely worth bringing it home, sitting down, going over the research, and kind of figuring out what I can find out about Tommy Parzinger, about the style, etc. It's really, really heavy, but you know, these are the kind of pieces, if it's worth selling, if I'm gonna get, you know, hundreds of dollars for it, it's worth the research and it's worth the trouble to pack it up and ship it. So that's my haul. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. I hope you like the content, and I plan to see you a lot more often in the next coming months. I hope everybody's doing well, had a great summer, and are looking forward to the fall and all the awesome things that fall brings. Bye everybody.